What is up, guys? Hopefully, you're all doing good. It's January the 14th. It's just past 9 o'clock, and we're just going to go do our review on today's trade during the New York session. Yeah, let's get right to it. So, originally, from the start of the week, we were looking for some upside to these relative equal highs here on NQ. You can see just based off how Monday and Tuesday played out, it didn't really give us any good indication that we were willing to go higher. Specifically, yesterday, you can notice how we actually closed back. Well, actually closed back within this specific range right here on Monday, and then on Tuesday, we actually had a C2 closure right here. Okay. So that right there on Tuesday was the indication for indicating to me that price isn't willing to go higher, and we're actually willing to go grab some liquidity to the downside, which the obvious draw was right here, the relevant swing point right here that was formed on Thursday. So that was my bias going into today's session. Nothing really much to say other than that. So let's go into the 4 hour now, breaking down price. So you can see how we were able to, you can see the C2 closure right here. We attacked the liquidity, previous day's high on Tuesday, came back, forming that nice change in the state of delivery right here, and then giving that confirmation during the London session, which was last night, that expansion phase to confirm the move lower. So it was obvious, and you can see how obvious the low resistance liquidity right here on the 4 hour. You can see it much better compared to the daily, that this was a very clear draw right here for today's session. So going on to today, obviously if we go into the daily time frame, you want to see if we're able to respect the 50% of this candle right here, which you can see how when we opened up high, we literally tapped into that 50% and we rejected. So now going back onto our 4 hour right here, we actually formed an SMT right at the open and 10 p.m. right here. So that was our indication for a possible high of day, which got confirmed by the expansion and then another change in the state of delivery right here on the 4 hour. So once we got this expansion, then it was obvious to us that we were able to anticipate a move lower, specifically during the 6 a.m. candle. So now we want to do this is basically marking the 50% of this 4 hour candle and now anticipating where we could possibly anticipate the new 4 hour wick to be formed here. You can see how the 50% is right here. Sorry, let me just move this a little closer here. So now going on to our hourly time frame, you could see how it was within this hourly SIBI right here. Where is it? Right here. We'll remove this for now, and you can see how price is actually respecting the CE of this fair value gap right here, and we actually had another C2 closure right here, including a SMT right here. So we also actually formed another SMT during 9 a.m. here, and it was actually with YM. So something that I want to keep in mind here, actually, now noting about strength switching, if we actually look at the where was it? If we look at the dealing range here, oops, sorry. During the time we were a bit higher in our premium here, while YM was much more in a discount. So this is basically what we anticipate during a strength switch, especially like, well, this candle shows that we're in a discount, but I'm like, if we were able to, like, if we had the replay mode on right now, This would have been currently right here. So we were somewhat higher within the range of the dealing range, specifically right here within this low to this high. And you can see how YM was much in a discount. This is the 6 a.m. candle here. You can see how it was a much more of a discount right here. So this was a way to anticipate the strength switch, that you could see how you would want to see YM manipulate higher, and then ES showing the failure swings to go lower back to this relevant low right here. So going back to our hourly, we had the SMT right here within this area of interest at 9 a.m. I think it was right here. Yeah, you can see how we had the first one right here, and then the second one was right here with this was YM, and then with NQ right here. So that's our two-stage confirmation of a reversal here. I think there was a no, not here. I think if we go into our 30-minute here, it's a little better to see. Well, actually, other than that, it's not really much of a matter, because we do have the SMT here. Actually, on the close of the 30-minute, just before 9:30, I think there was a precision swing point here. Sorry. If we go into the 30-minute right here, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sorry, this is the 9 o'clock candle. So we did have a precision swing point right here, and you can see the strength switch happening since YM was the one to close bullish, and then NQ showing the bearishness right here. So it's indicating it's weaker now at this moment, and you can clearly see what happened right here. It actually went much higher right at the open of 9:30, which formed the SMT right here. So now going on to our 5-minute, I think that's where I made the mistake here. I did take a trade here in the beginning of this change in the state of delivery right here, which I did get stopped out, because you could see the expansion here, which tapped into the, where was this? This was the equilibrium. Sorry, no, it was not. Let me just go on replay so then it doesn't confuse me here. Yeah. So you can see how this, I think it didn't really tap into anything here personally. Yeah, because we still had this, we had this low right here, and then we had this low right here. Okay, let me just go on right here. Let me just mark this out here. So currently, I thought we had an SMT here, but you could see how we had an accumulation here. I think this was the SMT right here with YM that I presumed. Yeah, because this is 925. Yeah, like it wasn't really like anything clean, because you can see how this was just all accumulation afterwards, right? You wanted to see this being manipulated, which I think I was in the wrong for entering way too quick just before 9:30. It's a hit or miss sometimes, guys, with a 9:30 open. Sometimes you can get it right and sometimes you can get it wrong. So it's in a way of a risk, which I took the risk and I took the loss immediately right after. It went in my way, but you could see how I stopped out because my stop loss was right here, and I got but I immediately got right back in right after here. It was yeah, this was right here. I entered it right here, stop loss right here with the confirm SMT, and I think it was just shy of 1.5. Not really the best thing that I would look for, but it was the only thing that I could have gotten for, with me at least being able to manage my risk a little bit better. Yeah, but you can see how we just accumulated here. Nothing really in favor. Personally, you would want to at least see this being manipulated here, because this is the current swing point right here. This is just all accumulation, so it's like a consolidation phase. Nothing really stands out here as an important swing point. So as you can see, this is why this happened here. took out the, well, YM took out the high, which was right here. Let me just erase this. So you can see how this was the SMT right here with this specific high right here on NQ. So now we have that two-stage Kraken correlation here to confirm the move lower, which you could see how it made sense here to continue going lower after that, right? But let me just go back on the full screen. But yeah, that's basically it. Let's just anticipate now what we could have done with the 10 a.m. open, right? Because we still had some failure swings right here. We could even like target this one here because there's a pretty clear draw right here. So we still had some areas of interest here to see if price was willing to go low, higher. Sorry. Let me just put this right here, 50%. See how, notice how it respects that 50% once you want to anticipate that wick. We can go into our 30-minute right here. So right now you could see how that's 30-minute. Personally, I didn't really look at the 50-minute here currently, but it's the same thing basically. You could see how we expanded lower. I mean, well, it opened lower and then went higher again, but you notice how we left that low, creating a relative equal low here within that specific 4-hour swing point that I marked here, right? Something that could have been noted during live price action. But we also formed a PSP with YM, so you can see how there was a strength switch here, and then NQ retracing back, now anticipating that we can most likely somewhat not fill this SMT right here, and then you can see a continuation going lower back to that high, to that low, sorry, to that relevant low. We also had this 15-minute, so if you wanted to use the 15-minute here based off that 4-hour wick being formed, you could have done that and then waited for that C2 closure to confirm the move lower, right? The only thing is there was no SMT here. Yeah, there was no SMT here, but again, sometimes SMT is good, it's just for a confluence. But when you're just anticipating price action, this is basically what it is. You're reading the tape, your tape reading, right? You're literally anticipating it like the paintbrush, right? Going up and then going back down, right? So confirming that this was a C2 right here, closing back within the range, we can anticipate this candle, the 1030 candle, to go lower here, back to this low and back to the 4-hour relevant low here. So let's look at 1030 right now, and now based on the 50-minute, we can go into the 1-minute here. So let me mark 1030 here. So 1030 is right there. Like I said, we have that C2 closure here, and then we had that change in the state of delivery to confirm the expansion after to confirm the reversal. Now we want to anticipate the continuation based off the next 15 candle at 1030. You could see how we just started creeping lower, formed the high. Oops. And then you can note how we had that expansion lower, and then we wanted to see if price was willing to go lower from here once we got that change in the state of delivery. Once that happened, you could have easily taken the trade right here, stop loss at that swing point, and then targeting that 4-hour relevant low for a nice 2R. And you could see how it played out really nice. You could see how the candle, the candle you entered on was expanded already largely. So if you were someone that wanted to manage risk, you could have easily put your stop loss at break even and then just try to trail it, anticipating and breaking price down, fair value gap. You can see it tap in, closing back below the up close candle, and then a continuation. So very easy, very quick, very very good trade, to be honest, just based off that. But that's basically it for this recap, guys. I did take a YM trade actually. because I wanted to see YM actually catch up to where ES and NQ took, so you could see how ES took it, and then you can see how right here you can see how they all took it, and I wanted to see YM take it, but unfortunately we were not able to get that. I think it was at the 11 o'clock candle right here. Let's see if we can just see what we saw again. Sometimes I forget, guys, sorry. Yeah, it was a new hourly candle here. So again, if we wanted to see price go higher, you wanted to see it respect this 50%. You could see how we actually continued going higher. It went much higher than that that 50% here. If we go into the 5 minute, you could see how we had that push higher, but then we had an SMT here. Where was it? I think it was on the 3 minute where I saw it. Yeah, it was right here. I was looking at the 3 minute from what I recall now. So there was that SMT right here. You can see, well, ES is the one that took it, but NQ was the one that failed to take it. And then you can see how we started expanding much lower from here. We formed an up close candle, and then we had a nice closure below it. This was the trade that I personally took right here. I had my stop loss just right above here, above the rejection block, and then I wanted to target right here for a 1.6. I can delete this. Once we started expanding, I actually secured one contract out of the 2 contracts I had here at this low right here, and then moved my stop loss at break even. I personally didn't want to see us break above this swing point right here. I wanted us to continue going lower, but you could see how we just started to creep up higher and higher, and then you can see how we went much higher from there. So overall, it was a not bad day. NQ was the play of the day. I guess some lessons I should note for myself and for any of you guys. I guess it's better to wait just for right after 9:30. Sometimes trying to trade right before it to anticipate the move, like to anticipate 9:30 to be an expansion phase, could be a little tricky sometimes, guys. So I'm gonna try to backtest that, build a little bit more conviction on that, and then hopefully I can show you guys maybe when and when not to do it. But other than that, guys, I think that is it. Hopefully you guys learned something from here. Hopefully you guys can actually take something out of this, and I'll be live again tomorrow. If you guys haven't checked out my live stream, check it out. It's just under here and under live. You can see it was about just under an hour long. But overall, that is it, guys. Hopefully you guys have a good night. God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.